in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Obi Trice, real name, no gimmicks.
Hello everyone, welcome back. January 24th, 2020 started as a quiet morning in Essex, Maryland. However, a community was about to lose one of its own. David King Jr., known to many as Dee Dave, was more than a local rapper. He was a beacon of positivity, a talented artist, and a dedicated Baltimore gas and electric employee. He had a show booked in Atlanta and was leaving to catch an early ride to the airport. Devastatingly, it turned out to be a seemingly ordinary moment that ended in tragedy. With that being said, let's get right into it. Around 5 a.m., outside the Kings Mills Apartments on Holgate Drive, the quiet morning was shattered by gunfire. 29-year-old David King was about to enter his ride's vehicle to go to the airport when a gunman suddenly opened fire. He was unfortunately pronounced dead at the scene.
Police in Baltimore County still searching for a killer after a local rapper is gunned down last night in a double shooting.
Dee Dave was killed just hours after getting off the stage, doing what he loves. He was known for spreading positivity and love through his music.
WJZ is live tonight. Amy Kawada spoke to his cousin who was with him just last night and says the two were actually supposed to be down in Atlanta performing together tonight. Amy.
Yeah, Nicole and Vic, around this time last night, rapper Dee Dave was just finishing up an event he was hosting in downtown Baltimore. Tonight, police are still looking for the shooter and answers about what led up to his death. 29-year-old David King Jr., known as rapper Dee Dave, spent his final hours of his life doing what he loved the most. The East Baltimore rapper hosted an event called The Huddle in downtown Baltimore just hours before he was shot and killed in a double shooting at an apartment complex in Essex. Family, friends, fans, and loved ones left shocked.
I'm just lost for words because it was like my best friend, even though it was my cousin. We spent a lot of time together.
King's cousin, Tate Cobain, also a Baltimore rapper, was at the event Thursday night. Both were supposed to catch a flight Friday to spend the weekend in Atlanta.
And I always tell him, hit me when you get in the house. Pack for to leave in the morning. And he just never texted me.
King's family says he was on his way to the airport when the incident occurred around 5 this morning. According to police, when officers arrived, they found two men with gunshot wounds in the parking lot. King was pronounced dead at the scene. The man who survived was taken to the hospital and should recover. Tate says they were looking forward to this weekend.
This was the show that he believed was going to be the big break for him.
Right now, family and loved ones are hoping justice will be served.
Trying to get some answers because he wasn't that guy to be laying out here on the ground like that.
It couldn't have been somebody that knew him, because anybody that knew him would love him. And this is the last thing that anybody that knew him would ever want.
And King leaves behind a 10-year-old son. His cousin Tate Cobain tells me they continue to plan to hold those huddles in honor of King's life, and all proceeds will go to his close family members and his son. Now, police are still working to identify a suspect and ask anyone with information to contact homicide detectives in Baltimore County. Reporting live tonight, I'm Amy Kawada for WJZ.
The immediate assumption was simple: a targeted attack. Regardless, as Baltimore County Police began their investigation, a more complex and disturbing narrative emerged. This was not a drug deal gone wrong, nor was it related to gang activity. Detectives pieced together a theory suggesting an unfortunate and dreadful case of mistaken identity. The key figure was David's friend Darius Joyner, who was giving him a lift to the airport that morning. Police theorized the intended target was Joyner. The man they identified as the shooter was Calvin Crashing Fogg.
A local rap artist, David King Jr., known as Dee Dave, was shot and killed outside of an apartment complex in Essex back in January. Now, a 27-year-old man, Calvin Fogg, has been charged with killing Dee Dave King and the shooting of another man. WMAR-2 News' Ray Strickland has more on what led to that arrest.
I hope you get convicted to no end. To no end.
A heartbroken mother grieving the loss of her son, late Baltimore rapper Dee Dave King, at a memorial filled with family and friends more than a month ago. Her calls for justice answered. Baltimore County Police say the suspect in connection to his death has been arrested. 27-year-old Calvin Fogg taken into custody Friday, now facing first-degree murder and first-degree attempted murder charges. Fogg accused of shooting King and another man who survived the shooting outside of an Essex apartment complex.
It gives Baltimore County Police Department a sense of pride that we're able to at least bring to justice the person who has committed this crime.
Officer Jennifer Peach is with the Baltimore County Police Department. She says the investigation started with very limited information, adding a witness's statement helped solve the case.
That's really what led us down the road that the investigators took, which finally ended up in them determining who the shooter was.
The day before King was killed, he performed at a hip-hop museum on East Baltimore Street. Maya Camille is the museum's curator. She knew King.
I'm very, very happy to know that justice is being served for Dee Dave and his family.
Camille says the past month has not been easy for anyone who knew him. She's hoping this arrest could help ease the pain.
I hope it brings some type of comfort to his family.
Fogg, police believed, had a contentious history with Joyner, allegedly involving an ex-girlfriend. The theory was a chilling one. Fogg arrived in the early morning darkness, saw a figure by Joyner's car, and opened fire, mistakenly believing it was Darius Joyner. When Joyner himself emerged to help his friend, the shooter allegedly turned his weapon on him, injuring him before fleeing.
Well, after weeks of searching for a killer, Baltimore County Police have now charged a man for the murder of local rapper Dee Dave. WJZ is live tonight. Rachel Carden has the court documents explaining what happened the morning David King Jr. was killed. Rachel.
Rick, that morning we actually spoke to rapper Dee Dave's family. They told us he was on his way to the airport to catch a flight to Atlanta. He had a show that night. Well, according to court documents that we got today, all of that is true. And we also found out in those charging documents that the man driving Dee Dave to the airport had bad blood with the now alleged gunman. Before the sun came up on January 24th, David King Jr. was gunned down in the parking lot of an Essex apartment complex.
Be careful who you love, so easy to judge.
A local rapper killed on his way to a performance in Atlanta. But court records reveal it may have been a case of mistaken identity.
Mr. King went outside to the vehicle, and at that time, someone ran up on him and started firing shots. The other person at the house came outside. The suspect started firing shots at that person as well.
The charging documents say the alleged gunman, 27-year-old Calvin Fogg, is dating Darius Joyner's ex-girlfriend. Joyner is King's friend, living in Essex, who was taking him to the airport early that morning. Records say Fogg had sent threatening messages to Joyner just a few weeks prior. When we interviewed Dee Dave's family the morning of the murder, they had no idea who could have done this.
Thought he was going to be on a plane going down there to Atlanta. I don't know what's happening right now. I just got a call 6 in the morning that my cousin is gone.
Now Fogg is charged with murder and attempted murder. Though Joyner was shot, he was not seriously hurt. And Baltimore County Police say they can't confirm whether or not this was a case of mistaken identity, but of course they are investigating that, and we know that Fogg is expected back in court for a preliminary hearing on March 20th. Live outside of Baltimore County Police Headquarters, I'm Rachel Carden for WJZ.
Prosecutors built their case using the tools of modern forensics. Surveillance video capturing a vehicle consistent with the one Fogg had borrowed, cell phone records placing his device in the area, and a crucial witness statement. They argued the evidence was clear. The case went to trial. The defense for Calvin Fogg presented a counter-narrative, with Fogg himself taking the stand, asserting he was asleep at his sister's house during the time of the shooting. First trial ended with a hung jury and was ruled a mistrial. A second trial was scheduled for November 2022. The second jury weighed the evidence, the police theories, and Fogg's testimony. The outcome was a shock to many following the case. Calvin Fogg was found not guilty of all charges.
The jury found Calvin Fogg not guilty on all counts. Fogg was accused in the 2020 murder of David King Jr., a rapper known as Dee Dave. Prosecutors tried to prove that Fogg drove around an Essex apartment complex parking lot, shot and killed the wrong man, left the area, and returned to shoot the second victim who survived. Police and prosecutors believe Fogg and the second victim had an ongoing dispute in which King was not involved. Prosecutors relied on surveillance video of a car they said Fogg was driving and cell phone records that put him at the scene of the crime. During the trial, Fogg testified that he knew nothing about the shooting. He told jurors he was at his sister's house asleep. The defense claimed police never searched for any other suspect and told jurors someone else could have had a problem with the rapper or the other victim. But the jury never saw any evidence that Dee Dave was involved in any dispute. His mother and father both say they wanted justice and wept after the verdict.
I'm hurting. I'm hurting because my son was not from that mob. David wanted his music career, and David was about positivity. So no, I'm not okay. I'm hurting right now, but eventually this pain will ease. But right now, I'm hurting.
Now, this was a retrial of the case. Last year, there was a mistrial because of a hung jury. Now, this jury has determined that Calvin Fogg is not guilty. Reporting live from Towson, Barry Sims, WBAL-TV 11 News.
The murder of Dee Dave officially remains a closed case with an acquittal, leaving a community grappling with the loss of a vibrant talent and the unanswered questions of justice. His memory lives on, not just through his music, but through the positive impact he left on those who knew him.
1 year ago, a local rapper was killed outside an apartment complex in Essex, though detectives believe he was not the intended target. Today, his loved ones grieve the loss, still fresh in their minds. 29-year-old David King Jr. was Dee Dave to his fans. At a vigil held Sunday, his mother spoke about her son's murder 1 year ago. She said her heart is still hurting.
It's been a long, hard year. For me and every mother that has lost a child, this not easy pain.
The day my brother died, to me, the world shut down.
On January 24th, 2020, outside this apartment complex in Essex, King was gunned down. His family told WJZ then he was on his way to the airport because he had a show in Atlanta. He never made it.
And he loved, his music in the city of Baltimore. He always wanted to give back to the community.
The gathering was a celebration of a big, bold life.
That's who he was. He was a special guy. He taught you how to see the light in all things.
King's mother and brother say they plan to keep his legacy alive.
We're going to keep it moving. We're going to keep what David was trying to do out here in Baltimore County, Baltimore City, in different states.
With the suspect acquitted, David King Jr.'s murder is, in a sense, an unsolved case. What do you think this outcome says about the justice system? Secondly, if you were on that jury and heard all the evidence, would you have voted guilty or not guilty? Let me know what you think in the comments below. Rest in peace, Dee Dave. Thank you all for watching, and as usual, if you're a fan of urban legends, folklore, unsolved mysteries, cold cases, and all things mysterious, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel.
Feeling comfy like I'm in pajamas. My new bitch is like Pocahontas. The weed loud, but I move in silence. I'm a cool guy, but my niggas violent. Round here is gunshots and sirens. You say you in the hood, but we couldn't find you. Never fool, I am not a